Welcome back to the Motion Raceworks YouTube channel. If you haven't already seen, we're giving away right behind me this 1970 Nova, Hugger Orange Nova. It's a beautiful car inside and out, and we're LS7 6-speed swapping it. Absolutely epic driver that we're going to create using a bunch of today's most modern parts. This thing had a big block in it before, it was great. Now it's going to be fast, cruise with an overdrive, air conditioning, all that different stuff. And you could win this thing. Every $5 you spend now through October 2nd gets you one automatic entry to win this car with all that swap. And we're building it on YouTube. So you get to watch it as it's being built, see all the parts that's being used. Really exciting. Now this applies to anything you purchased at motionraceworks.com, markwilliams.com, or tbmbrakes.com. That means shirts, merchandise, car parts, everything that's on our website, all gets you entered. So hit pause or head on over after the video, grab some shirts, apparel, merchandise. Also, check out our full rules and details. I'll put them down in the description below. That way you know if you're eligible to enter. No purchase necessary. See full rules and details. You know, if you guys ever need a reason to take your car for proper wiring, this is your reason. A lot of butt joints.
Yeah. It's just a fire hazard at the end of the day.
That make you start like tweaking a little bit, Brett.
Well, I just gotta cut it out. It's no big deal. It's fine.
Cut the cancer out.
Just cut it out and start over. It's only a couple wires to make a fan run. It doesn't need all this complexity.
Reminds me a lot of the Calypso car. We had a similar situation in that thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of how it ends up being, unfortunately.
Most people aren't wiring gurus.
No, it's usually they hate it, right?
Yeah.
Everyone dreads it. Anything electrical when it comes to a car. But this is, yeah, it's not very good. And like, even if you had the correct fan on your car, like this doesn't have enough. This isn't supplying the fan with enough current to even run at full power to keep the car cool. So it's just doing a injustice anyway. Yeah.
Rough. Also, not going to need that where we're going.
Thought about leaving it on there just for dramatic effect. Run some wires to it.
Just get people all worked up. Might hit the intake. I don't know. I think it's pretty big. So. No more 6AL talk. Alright guys, so perfect reason why we love the Icon and why I wanted to design it originally. We thought short, you know, thing with a front mount intake, everything always gets short, so I was like, oh, well, of course we'll do one of our billet 90s. And then we put the bracketry on and that's not going to work. So what's really cool is it's 4 bolts that hold this on. It's a patent we hold. I can actually literally just, obviously I own the company, but I can just exchange this for, and then it'll work with the bracketry and nobody's in trouble. So otherwise, that's, like I said, that's why we built this, so that you can adapt not only over time, but if you miss on the first shot, you're not, like if we would have just welded that on there or something like that, it's a huge pain. And Billet Specialties kit, this thing is really nice. It goes on so clean. Like even all the threads and stuff are really nice on it.
Compact too. Like it's pretty much in plane with the engine, so you don't have to worry about a bunch of engine bays. It'll fit a lot of different things.
That's what originally led me to it. Is it keeps it so tight on the bottom and top that a lot of these cars, they don't have room with steering racks and all that stuff. Power steering boxes, everything. Well guys, we're almost done. Stopped for an ice cream break. Jim bought a whole ice cream truck out of business, so not mad about it. You know, I kind of feel bad for the winter because there's no doubt you're gonna be banging gears in this thing trying to get ready for the old snot rocket.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we put a stick in everything now. We're just big stick shift guys over here. We're not, you know, automatics for babies. So man pedal for life. I don't know all the sayings yet. But
whoever wins this car can be like, yeah, man. I mean, my car is really what Brett learned 6-speed of.
I mean, it's the same transmission.
Exactly.
T56.
Yeah, only the best for our giveaway car in Snot Rocket. When you don't have a engine puller,
we've used this on Snot Rocket. Yeah, we've used this on Snot Rocket more times than we can count.
Yeah, it's way easier.
Yeah.
Power engine way. All right, it's header time. Our friends at American Racing Header got us a set of these swap headers. Now I've used these before and they're nice headers. I've had them on my car for like 6 or 7 years, so this is what we're using, and we're gonna slide them up and see if the engine's in the right position. So if it's not, we can move the mount. We can adjust the mount forward or backwards to make sure it all clears, but then we'll be pretty well mocked up in there. So, Frank, I don't really remember what we did wrong on my LSA, but these headers clear perfect. They fit perfect everywhere. They clear perfect. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I got them in my dad's Nova too, and fit pretty easy, so can't beat it.
Yeah, they're a little tight on like a big automatic like transmission 4L80, but even that it works with.
Yeah.
6-speed, obviously no problem. And I think I must have just had my engine on adjustable mounts somewhere weird, because I remember having to do that to clear the blower on the hood because I wanted to use a factory hood. But this thing just slid right in. All right, everybody, done multiple LS swaps on Novas before. Got the wrong pan and the wrong mounts.
Yeah, we'll see. The mounts are definitely wrong. Pan may be close. We'll get the right mounts and then get a set back in there.
You think you think I would learn my lesson by now, but it's like 2-3 years, 5 years between every swap. So
and there's a lot of options like tall this, short that.
Yeah.
We kind of just like ordered stuff and here we are.
we just sent it. So while we wait for that, we got this billet specialties front drive accessory setup. So
Yeah.
I've used this before on my Blue Nova. Of course, that's an LSA, but this stuff is phenomenal. Like no belt problems. I've had that car together for like 7 years. The belt just is perfect. It tracks perfect. This kit comes with power steering, alternator, AC, which we're gonna add to this thing from Chili Winds.
Yep.
It's got a new water pump. Comes with ATI damper. So it really is just all inclusive. So took the factory water pump off of this thing, and we're gonna outfit it with all this stuff, so it just works the first time. We don't have to guess with it. So.
That's it. We'll put it back. Find the stutter the crank up at the foot glass.
Thank you. You gotta go that way, I think.
Crank's kind of in the middle.
All right.
Probably move the force once you're done. Keep going down.
Go down?
Yeah.
Then you shift your way, right?
Yeah.
Up there again.
And down.
Oh yeah, it looks like a bolt in
I think we're gonna be dialed.
Yeah. Can't tell if the fan's in, but we'll just put the bolts in and see.
What you got here, Doug?
That was it.
Bigger turbo.
You hear that, Jim?
No. I don't have nothing to say.
This
Nothing good to say.
This is an insurance policy because I don't know if you guys know, but Jim and I have a fairly friendly competition. Whoever wins, the joke is the other guy's desk goes outside for the day or up on a rafter. So this is an insurance policy for that.
Those look pretty big.
Garrett's new GX Race turbos are badass. They're G45 series for a small block, like a LSLT. I don't think there's anything better mid-size in the market, and they have an 82. So we had 76s because the last year's rules for FL2K was like a 72 was one weight and 76 was one weight, but this year they took all the ruals off, so we're not leaving anything on tape.
It's the only class that had rules.
It was the only class that had rules. Now it doesn't, so I'm like, might as well put as big of a compressor wheel as I can on it because it needs it. So, and
That gray stripe might come true.
it's gonna look like that. Even if he beats me off the line.
Yeah, what the hell is this?
Bro, look at
What the hell is that?
for the Nova.
What do you think? Bigger's better. Bigger's better.
All right, well, got all the old stuff off. Started doing the suspension and realized that we're changing the springs, and working with old dirty parts just isn't that great. So just took everything off, and we're getting all brand new stuff to put on here. It's gonna handle better, ride better. Actually, gonna be nicer overall. We got the patch panel cut out. You can see this was done a few times before, so just cut that all the way out, and then we'll slide in the new unit, and hopefully that's enough to fit it. If not, we'll have to trim back a little more, but not a big deal. Should fit in there. We get the new suspension tomorrow. BMR is bringing that over. We'll get that laid up. New power steering box. Had a manual box. We have a new power steering box going in. We'll get the new front brakes put on, manual deal, and everything's on track. Got the gas tank out, getting the fuel line off. Basically got this thing gutted down, and pretty soon it will be time to start putting new parts on. Let's be clear.
So it's kind of escalated just as quickly as the Calypso car did.
And it's just the way it needs to be done.
Yeah.
We can't give away a car with bad ball joints and
Yeah.
antiquated front suspension from the 60s or 70s, whatever year this Camaro is.
Yeah.
Nova. Yeah, so yeah, we'll put the new stuff on and get it worked out.
Definitely gonna be nice for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, so as you can see on the table here, we have our new suspension laid out. The guys at BMR brought this over this morning. They have a bolt-in kit, so this is gonna greatly modify the steering and braking. One of the worst things about this car was it drove like a 1970 Nova, so we're gonna try to bring it up, to a more modern style here. So we have two-wheeler control arms. We still went with a poly bushing end, not a spherical end, so we get the ride quality. Lower in springs, sway bar. We got a power steering box put in this deal. All right, so we got the front end on the car, everything bolted up perfectly, nice and easy. Now it's time to put the brakes on. For this car, we're gonna use our street brakes, the XS3 front calipers, front rotors, the whole setup. This is for GM muscle cars. So this kit actually fits pretty much every early GM muscle car. All the listings are on the website. And we have a full install video Doug did actually on his blue Nova. So if you wanna see the breakdown of every part put on, go down and check out that video.
All right, the Nova's starting to look like a car again, Brett.
Yeah.
We got,
Front end came out good.
we couldn't just leave it alone. So, like Brett said, the guys at BMR hooked it up. Got some TBM XS3 brakes. We have some new Copo style wheels coming, which is just a steel wheel with Copo style hubcaps. We're gonna do it orange, I think. Really cool old Novas, like all the rare ones. They had the orange wheels with the Copo hubcaps that match the paint and stuff like that. Paint match. So I'm gonna put those on there. Who knows? We might do another set of wheels to give away if somebody was so inclined and wanted different options. So
Yeah.
Brett's obviously a Ford guy, so he's not all about that body color stuff. But I'm a period correct type of guy, you know. But
I think it'll look good both ways, and if we give it an option, or we'll see, different.
I think it's cool because it transforms the cars to have different wheels, and everybody's got different tastes. So if we have different options, but
Yeah.
got the master cylinder out. This thing weighs like a metric ton, doesn't it?
No, there's nothing better to me when you're putting performance parts on if they're lighter, because you know that making the car lighter is better. And I went to take this out, and I had one hand on. I almost dropped it. It's actually very heavy.
Somebody probably paid a lot of money for it,
Yeah.
and I guess they got a chrome version. But the brakes were incredibly terrible on this thing. Obviously had factory brakes on it, but this wasn't doing anything better than the factory one was. So I think from a looks perspective,
Yeah.
maybe you benefited, but the new one is going to be this long, so it's going to hang way less into the engine bay.
Right. Yeah, it'll look good. It was I think it was worse than having power brakes because this can is way too small for the vacuum that other engine created, and I mean it was manual brakes most of the time and not the right ratio.
Yeah, that engine made almost no vacuum, if at all. So manual brakes, we said in the last video, I'll say it again, if they're done right, they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And we'll show you guys the install and everything goes along with it. So,
Yeah, it'd be cool because we'll have some different people drive the car and get their perspective on it, because most people have the same idea of manual brakes, that they're not good, and it's just not the truth.
yeah, 9 out of 10 people set them up incorrectly in a variety of ways. If you just put this back on the pedal, if you put the new brakes on a pedal where this goes, which is what 90% of people do, it's got like a 4-to-1 pedal ratio, which means it makes no pressure. Oh, it's looking less and less like a car in here.
Yep, sometimes you gotta take it apart more to get it back together.
We wanted, pedals can become a problem in swaps, so we wanted to do this nicely, just for longevity's sake. So,
Yep.
got the pedals out, which kind of gives us the ability to diagnose some wiring. We're going to put the Motion Raceworks brake master cylinder in, right?
Yep. Yep.
So 1032 bore, because it's going to be 4-piston XS3 front, well it already is. And then we're going to do 4-piston on the rear, once we get some Mark Williams axles in this thing. And then we're going to switch the gas pedal out. I don't even know what brand this is. It came from it's an American-made deal, but I should know the name. But nice looking piece.
Yeah,
I've used one similar before, but it allows us to use our Cleva style connection. The Novas have a weird gas pedal. It's like into the fire, like outside of the engine bay.
Well, it was mechanical linkage, and the pedal was part of the mechanical linkage that passed through the firewall and went up for where the carburetor was. So this kind of bolts in that place. It covers the hole at the same time, which is nice. And then, yeah, so we get the brake pedal stuff sorted, and then we got a Malwood hydraulic clutch underdash kit. Again, the same thing we put in the Calypso. We really like that brand and the way it came out, so we're going to do the same thing. So this will have a hydraulic release bearing, so that, the clutch feel and everything would be nice and easy.
Yeah, it'll feel like a factory vehicle. One thing worth mentioning, kind of forgot this because we started buying parts for this a while ago. That is a T56 Magnum, which is just substantially bigger than a regular T56. So
Exactly. Yeah, I think maybe a regular T56 would have fit a little easier, but that tunnel already needed some work done. So this is just a better way to go all around. And now it has the bigger, stronger transmission. Those things to handle, I think they're rated at like 800 foot-pounds of torque, but they'll handle 1100, 1200. A lot of guys push them, like, they're awesome.
you can literally give this thing all the abuse. We didn't want to put like honestly, I've never broke a T56 myself, which is pretty amazing because I broke nearly everything else on the car. But a little bit of extra added insurance policy with this deal, so pretty cool.
Yeah,
should be a nice little unit in there. And we got a Tick Performance billet shifter for that thing, so comes with that one stock, but we upgraded that thing. Should have a little bit more adjustability as far as where the shifter comes out and all that stuff. Who knows, we might not even use the adjustability, but at least we'll have it if we need it.
Okay, so now we have the clutch pedal hydraulic system laid out here on the table that we're going to install in this car. This works very similar to the brake system. There's a master cylinder that controls hydraulic pressure controlled by the pedal. Same principles go in line with this, with pedal ratio and such. This malware kit is super nice because all of that stuff's already sorted, figured out. Master cylinder's bolted on there. This connects to that factory pedal box in place of the factory clutch pedal, and it just goes in. Then with a hydraulic line, this connects to the release bearing or the throw-out bearing of the transmission. So if you've heard the term slave cylinder, release bearing, it's kind of all the same thing. So it's a hydraulic cylinder that when the pressure goes into the cylinder from the master, you push the clutch in, it's going to push this forward and then disengage the clutch from the engine. This is a nice piece from Tick. This has, this comes off the clutch, it releases well, works really good. It comes with this really nice shim stack, because when you set this up in the trans and the clutch, there's a spacing between this and the fingers of the diaphragm plate that have to be correct. If that spacing's wrong, then you're going to have too much clutch throw, too much pedal travel, because this piston's going to have to come out too far to disengage it. So they come with a spec to set that. You use the shims they provide. This is really nice. And a lot of kits come with like a tapered washer that isn't very nice. So this is cool. I'm excited to use it. On these throw-out bearings, the hydraulic lines connect inside. You have to bleed this like a brake system. So it has a bleeder port here, which is always going to be the top port. These are labeled nice. So the trouble is to get inside the bell housing on like a factory style bell housing, there's not a lot of access. So the bleeder here is almost impossible to get to. Tick includes this nice hose that has an 1/8 inch MPT end on it. So the bleeder is going to screw right into here and then seal. So this will hang out the side of the transmission case and you can bleed it really easy.
So we're getting ready to install the new TBM billet master cylinder in this Nova. We designed this because we wanted a better option. Very similar to normal master cylinders, but we put our own little touches on it. It's a little bit shorter, has a billet top so it doesn't leak like plastic reservoirs. The cap is billet so it doesn't expand and leak as well. You'll notice this one actually has a integrated line lock, which is going to be really cool for a stick car. Do some big smoky burnouts, and the line and fitting location on this is a little different than a normal one. It comes out the bottom on the side or on the actual bottom on some of the ports. All of this is modular top and bottom, so you can do a remote reservoir. You can run it with a line lock or with a standard plate. A lot of options, and it bolts right in place of where a traditional Mopar 2-bolt master cylinder bolts. So what I wanted to talk about here as we get closer to installing it, I talk about this at length all the time, and I feel like you can never say it enough because it's kind of the biggest problem in manual brakes or most brakes in general. It doesn't really matter what brand brakes you have. If you don't give brakes enough pressure to operate, they're not going to do well. It doesn't matter if you have 2, 4, 6 piston or anything in between. There's an operating window that hydraulics need to work to be effective, and that's how we design them. Most times when somebody calls in and has a brake issue that we're trying to work through with them, I would say 8 out of 10 conversations are a low pressure situation. So just like an engine, you wouldn't run your fuel pressure low or your oil pressure low. Brakes need pressure to operate. And typically we try to operate brakes in like the 600 to 1000 PSI range. And that'll give adequate force for the piston to drive the pad into the rotor. Now what gets people in trouble is if you have a car like this that was a Power Master situation, it's going to have a much lower pedal ratio. So there's 3 factors in a braking system that determine how much force or how much pressure a master cylinder is going to put out. It's pedal ratio, it is piston size of the master cylinder and the brakes, and the last one is going to be input force. So that's really what sends it to the calipers. Now there's some magic in the brakes themselves that happen after that, but if you don't give it enough pressure, it's going to have a problem from day one no matter what you do. So on a Power Master setup, typically a factory brake system will be between 3.5 to 4 to 1 because you have the power booster adding increased pressure on top of the input force to help add more line pressure to the brake. Now this is also a thing on manual brake cars, especially if somebody's messed with them. A lot of times you'll want to check this out. So if you want to come in, I'll show you what I'm talking about. On our website, we have a calculator so you can input all those variables, but pedal ratio is kind of a good starting point. So you have a pivot location, you have a location where the Heim or connection for the brake master cylinder connects to, where the push rod connects to, and then you have your overall length of pedal. So how you determine pedal ratio is take your pivot point to center of pedal, which is 12 inches here, and then you divide it by whatever the length from the pivot to where the brake master connects to, which in this case is about 3.5. So 12 divided by 3.5 is, so 12 divided by 3.5 is roughly 3.4 inch or 3.4 pedal ratio. We want to achieve a 6 to a 7, which means we need a 2 inch or less pivot point. Oddly enough, and this is how most of these cars are built that were power or manual from the factory, there's a second location right here. So this is where I will connect our brake rod to going forward. We may have to drill this out to fit our Heim. You may have to drill a new hole if it doesn't already have one. Especially on late model cars, they don't have both options. But it's important that you do that. All of our master cylinder kits, we have bolt-on manual brake conversion kits. The plate is actually designed and positioned in a way that it'll help you achieve that 6 or 7 to 1 pedal ratio just by height. Because the last thing you want to do is have the rod going like this or like this. There are pistons inside of this bore here, and if you push on them at a weird angle, they're going to have a tendency to start to wear the surface and the bore, and you can have premature seal failures. So largely, it's never going to be a perfect situation because of the pedal swing, but you want this to push as straight as possible on the actual piston and the bore inside of here. So our kit's designed to do that, so we're going to go ahead and take this out, drill it out. You may have to move your brake switch bracket, make a new one, whatever. Like on this car, they probably make a different one for a manual car versus a non-manual car, but that's a pretty easy thing to do, and a lot of times you can put it on in tandem with the new Heim joint that's going to go on there. So we'll do that now. If you guys need some reference, on our TBM Brakes website, I'll put the calculator in the description below. You can plug in pedal ratio, input force, bore, master cylinder size, and that'll give you an estimated pressure that it can achieve. If you plug in yours now, you can look to the future to make changes. So you kind of go in knowing where you want to go, both in size of the bore of the master cylinder as well as pedal ratio. Now the last part of that input is how much force can I put with my foot. A good way you can do that is you can put a bathroom scale in the car, sit in the seat, and push on it and kind of mimic like a normal braking situation versus a hard braking situation. Typically, a grown adult will put in like 80 to 100 pounds of force, and then your oh shit moments, you can put in much more, and that'll give you extra braking capacity for slowing the car down in an emergency situation. Obviously, people with less leg strength, smaller people are typically going to put in less force, so sometimes that'll dictate what master cylinder is going in it. At the end of the day, if you guys have questions with your TBM brakes, we're happy to walk you through this. Our entire team is educated on how to take all those variables and figure out what you need to do to give you good brakes, because ultimately we want your brakes to have really good out-of-the-box performance for longevity as well as performance. We got the sheet metal guy in action here. Dang, already got it bent up. Carson's one of our resident design machine experts here at TBM, and we needed the help. So, Fred, do you feel like it's turned out nicer than if you and I would have done it?
Well, one of the things that I think we're good at is knowing people's strengths, and if we have a Carson in stock, we're gonna use it for this kind of stuff. So
yeah,
it's gonna come out much nicer.
We got to a stop-in point yesterday, and we said, "Tag, you're it."
Yeah, like yeah, we're gonna go do something else now.
So we're pretty lucky to have a good team here. Carson helped you with a lot of the snot rocket finish work when you first got it back.
He did. He actually painted the chassis, and he did metal work previous, and he has access to some really cool tools at his friend's shop next door to his house. So it
Works out good.
Yeah, it already
especially in this case. Well, guys, this video is coming to an end. We got a big pile of old parts. We got a big pile of empty cardboard boxes that are going into this car. As you've already seen, this series is going to be awesome to watch. We have tech tips in it. We have install stuff, some pointers, as well as just kind of around the shop stuff at Motion TBM. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. This car is already turning out to be epic, and we have so much more planned for it. Not to mention, we can't wait to get in and drop the clutch and do some burnouts. So make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully you're enjoying this series. Don't forget to log on to motionraceworks.com, markwilliams.com, or tbmbrakes.com. Every $5 you spend gets you one automatic entry. No max, so if you have a lot of car parts to buy, get a lot of entries. Also applies for apparel and merch. And don't forget to see our website for full rules and details. I'll also put that link down below.